really talk about what we really need to be talking about and begin to address the issues that has been plaguing our community. So why don't you go ahead and get started, brother?
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Power Circle. My name is Avery. I'm your host. Today I have here an honorable guest, a person that I'm just recently blessed to meet, Captain Dr. G. He's the Prime Minister of American Slave Nation. For those that aren't familiar with the Descendant American Slave Nation, that is what Captain Dr. G is here to explain. Captain Dr. G, say hello to the people, please.
Greetings to all my brothers and sisters. Hey, Brother Avery, thank you for having me on the show. I'm so honored to be able to be here to see how I can be able to add value to your listening audience.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you for taking time out of your day. This guy's a busy man. He's a pilot. He's got, I don't know, maybe 5 other ventures that you're working on, and then one big plan that includes most of us. And without further ado, I'm going to get to the questions. So, DAS. What is DAS, Captain G?
Well, what that stands for is the Descendants of American Slaves. And let me be real with you. That is a nickname that came out of the surname slave, because that's our culture name is slave, American slaves. We've been called slaves, colored, Negro, Black, African American. However, people hate that word slaves. They don't like it because of what it meant in the past, what other meant for it. And so nobody want to be associated with it. So we created the name Descendants of American Slaves so that people can slowly but surely begin to embrace that calling. We are descendants of American slaves. And America's had no other child but the slaves. She brought individuals over here by force. August 19, 1619.
Yeah.
But America wasn't in existence then. It was Great Britain. But the United States came into existence, the Republic, actually started in 1773. And then they created the Declaration of Independence on July 4th, 1776, and created the United States, Republic of the United States. Let me share this with you. They did not have the slave in mind because many of the white forefathers, they had slaves. So it wasn't about Africans, it wasn't about African American, it wasn't about the slave, American slave. No, America wanted a group to build its nation, and we were it.
Yes, sir.
America specifically bred slaves in those 7 southern states for one purpose only, to build the great nation that we're living in. However, what our forefathers did not recognize is that they had created a culture. They wiped out the people's brain, their language, their attributes, who they were as a culture, and used them to be servitude here in this country. It created a lower class.
Yeah.
And this class has been locked into the lowest level of a real life monopoly game for the last 200 years, even since America was founded. And so we've been off course. Many of us don't know our history, but America bred slaves. I'm not an African American. I'm American. I'm a descendant of American slaves. And we're the only culture that the United States Republic created to build this nation. You have firstborn rights. I like to tell people that they're not killing African Americans. African American is a United States immigration term for the whites and blacks, because there's a lot of white African Americans that have come here to the United States and nationalized. You always put the country in front of America in which you were born. I can't do that because I was born in Watts, California. I am a true American. I am a descendant of American slaves. Now, this is so important, Brother Avery. We got firstborn rights. Do you have any kids?
Yes, sir, I do.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have a firstborn?
I do.
That firstborn, you kind of lean things to. You want to give him everything or her everything when you leave here. See, we got firstborn rights. She's had no other culture that she bred specifically to build this nation but the slaves. And she's been a deadbeat parent to her firstborn and to her descendants. So I am a descendant of those that were bred here in the 7 southern states. Louisiana especially, because that's where my daddy was from, St. Martinville. And so I have gotten this revelation. And I tell you what, one thing about knowledge, to get to the next level, you have to have information. And once you got it, nobody can play you. I'm not an African-American. That's a lie from the pit of hell. That's an immigrant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's some powerful stuff, man. That's so powerful. And some of the listeners and viewers, they kind of have a background if they've listened to the podcast on Spreaker of mine. But I've come from a place of complete dysfunction, Cap. And I didn't have that direction because my dad wasn't there, a single mother of a 9th grade education. But I see that there's a broken foundation for kids like me. Like, where do I go? Why do I have these crazy habits? Why do you feel like that foundation is like that in the Black home? Regardless if the parents there or not, there's still that crack in the foundation. What is that from? Do you have a...
Yeah, I want to address that. I hear what you're asking. America has a crack in the foundation because slavery was the foundation of America. American slavery. She bred slaves. And therefore, we are the crack in the foundation. We don't know who we are culturally because we've been called all kind of stuff. African-American, Negro, Black. And see, it's very dangerous when you really don't know your culture. And so we're going to have to be willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn. And see, the whole purpose of slavery was for white folks to get rich and wealthy, and us to be stuck in servitude. And the thing that our parents didn't tell us, slavery was bad. And so they didn't want to pass that information on to the next generation. And I understand that because not too long ago, our parents could not walk on the same sidewalk with white folks. They'd have to get in the street and put their heads down. They couldn't even ride in the front of the bus. They had to go to the back of the bus. We didn't have equal status. Still to this day, we don't have equal status. It takes every 20, 25 years, these senators have to pass a bill in order for us to have voting rights. And so when I feel like, wait a minute. If somebody can grant you your rights, that means they can take it away from you. And what we have to have now is equal status. Our position in American society, having competent knowledge, wealth, and power, that's neither inferior nor superior to that of any other ethnic group. And so we've been aiming for the wrong thing. And people yelling about reparation. Right now, I think reparation is out of order. And here's why. We first got to ask the question, are we really free right now?
Sir.
We need to fix this piece. Yeah, I know they signed an Emancipation Proclamation, but that was just, any mayor signed proclamation. If it's not backed by those 55 senators, then it really, it's a joke. We've been being played. Sure. So what I'm focusing on right now is to make sure that we get it in writing that we're free. And if we can't get it here, then we're going to create I've created another thing called American Slave Nation. There's 21 million descendants of American slaves here in the United States. That's a nation within a nation. People ask, can you do this, Doc? Of course we can. We got the Indian nations. We have the Gullah Geechee nation. At the Nation of Islam, their nation. A nation is a group of people that come together willing to be governed by a set of rules. And so the United States of America, its nation, is supposed to give people freedom, life, happiness, liberty. But if you're not getting that, according to the law of nation, it says that you can create your own nation. And that's what your brother has done. And we can come out from among this system. We can be dual citizens. Let me share this with you. When our group really understands this piece, the law of nation, it changes your life forever. And so we've been locked into the United States of America because no one ever told us that we can start our own nation. They should have did that right after slavery. Yeah. But when they kicked the people off the plantation, didn't give them no type of economic emancipation, provided no type of leadership training or how to enter to mainstream America, the American slave culture has been just sitting by on the road. Our ancestors, they kicked them off the plantation, and therefore they had babies, and the babies are still sitting by on the road in ignorance. But however, we're starting to wake up. Now, here's what's dangerous about that. We're coming up out of a 200-year stupor of suffering, human suffering. And so people are waking up, they don't know what to do. And a lot of time when people wake up in ignorance, and ignorance only means lacking in knowledge, they start burning down stuff. You know, I've been through 4 riots. I was part of the first one here in Los Angeles in Watts, August 11th, 1965. I was 7 years old. I saw the burning and devastation of the community, and I couldn't understand why everybody's running around, the community's on fire. You know, 7 years old is a very impressionable age.
Yes, sir.
So I took all that in, and I still remember it to this day. You know, it's kind of like some folks said, man, you 7 years old, you were traumatized. Now I think about it, yeah. But it was the night Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated 3 years later, April 4th, 1968. The community burned down again in Watts. And it was that night I made a decision, we're gonna fix this thing when we get older. And so I've been laser and razor sharp focus. I know what caused the riots now. I was part of we had another one here in 1992 with Rodney King. Then, I'm just coming home from St. Louis after 30 years. Michael Brown out there, the community burned down again. And I said, these riots have been following me. So I've studied the riots. I understand what it is. And what it is that the descendants of American slaves, every so often, they wake up out of anger. They're asking for help of how we can be able to be healed and made whole. And so this whole process that I'm talking about is to make that happen. There's a book called America Little Black Book.
Yeah, I was going to ask you that next question.
You got me fired up. I'm on a roll, brother.
Please, go ahead. Go ahead.
This book here, everybody, watch this here. I said, everybody need to read this book. Because when you read this book here, man, your life is going to change forever. This is the American slave Bible. Right. Everybody need to have this. Now we got, don't get me wrong, because I'm born again, spirit-filled, and I love God with all my heart, but I know my purpose is to seek and save those which are lost.
Yes,
That's
sir.
part of my assignment. And our group has been lost. We don't know who our culture is. But see, I know now. I'm American. I'm a descendant of American slaves. I got it now. And boy, when you read this book here, it's life-changing. Your life will never, ever be the same because it begins to heal the foundation.
How much is the book, Cap?
Oh man, it's really expensive. It's $16.95.
Your life is worth $16. My life is worth $16.
I'm telling you, this book here, and what I want, you know what we need to do, we all need to start reading this book and start having study groups so we can compare our communities to this book.
Yes, sir. Yep.
You follow what I'm saying? I believe that this is the mortar. This is the wisdom. This is the knowledge. This is the understanding that can seal the crack in the foundation. Yep. And then we can begin to build on top of that foundation. But I don't care who you are, unless you be made whole, no matter what we do is not going to work. So I've stopped everything that I'm doing to begin to teach, train, and get everyone to get this book. Your life can't be the same, because one thing about knowledge, now you're reading the book. That's why you're so excited. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think on this book.
I mean, it's remarkable. I know the first few words was holy shit. My wife looked over me like, watch your mouth. You know what I mean? But it's revealing. It puts everything into perspective. And really, if you don't read the book, you can't complain. I don't want to hear any other Black people complaining or starting any fights or arguments unless you read this book.
Right, because see, once you read this book, it'll cut down on the foolishness.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But this book is critical to us healing the foundation. Now, I've set up a website out there that I want some of your people to go to and you can put it into your
link description.
Your description, the Descendants of American Slave page.
Yes, sir.
DescendantsofAmericanSlave.com. A lot of information out there. It'll talk about some of the things that we're talking about, but this has to happen first.
Yep.
Slavery was the foundation of the United States of America. It was the economic engine to America's economy. And we must never forget that.
Yep.
And so we were real people. The thing about us, we're real people.
Yep.
We were slaves. And so we didn't go away. As soon as slavery, the industrial age was over, the agriculture age was over, because the slaves kept having babies. And we're still stuck here today. But from this moment forward, we have to begin to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Sir.
Now, I want to take you, I'm just thinking, yes, I'm going to take you there. I want to share a screen with you.
All right.
Because
I got to ask you if we could talk to them about the quadrant,
Boy, you read my mind.
Yes, the quadrants.
You read my mind.
Guys, pay attention to this quadrant module. This is really how it is, in my opinion, and Cap will explain it.
This is the cash flow quadrant. Family, it is so critical that we understand this. You see, the letter E stands for employee. The IRS get their money before you get yours when you're working. You are a slave to the government. They give you a little bit, but the bottom line is they take the tax dollars from you immediately out your paycheck. So you are working for money. You are a slave to money. Over here is small business. You are a slave to yourself, but if you get sick, your business gets sick. This is where the mom and pop businesses are. You follow what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
These are, people who are self-employed. I'm an attorney. I got my own little business. I'm an accountant. I'm a marketing person. And so you get a little bit of benefits there. But over here is big business. This is where corporate America is, Fortune 500 companies. They have system. Small business cannot compete with big business. It ain't going to happen. Walmart, Walgreens, Amazon. Amazon is kicking companies' butt, putting them out of business. But the thing is, over here, they have C corporations. Here are investors. These are the folks that invest in big business out in Wall Street. Everybody, and I'm going to say this, everybody on this side wins. Everybody on this side loses. So you got to make a decision which side that you want to be on, because each one of these have a different mindset. Losers, winners. The tax laws are all set up for this side. Now, let me drop this little nugget on you. We have a president in this country, and when he got in office, they passed, because he's a businessman, they passed the tax law code, where on this quadrant was paying 38.5% taxes. Because senators passed the tax bill, this side now is paying only 21.5%. That's huge. Yeah. This side here went from 21.5%, is now paying 38.5% in tax. They flipped the script. It is the tax code that will determine whether or not you be rich or poor. And so you got to ask yourself the question, which side of the quadrant you want to work on? Winner side or loser side? And that's all I'm going to say about that. And this is it, kind of like laid out. Employee, self-employed, big business owner, investors. And what I'm attempting to do right now is get everybody to cross over here, to be an investor in themselves, invest in their own education, learn how to become financial intelligent. Let's learn the game, because right now, many descendants of slaves, they're not even on the board. But what we can do, there's some processes that we have put in place to help catapult us over here quickly. So Captain Dr. G, I came back here to get you, to bring you over here. But you have to be willing to invest in yourself. That's what that I really stands for. Information, investing in me, meaning yourself. And so you can become empowered, so you can operate on this side of the quadrant.
Yes, sir.
Did that help? Did that
answer the question?
Did that answer your question, my brother?
It did. And so if we had to boil down a percentage on the ES side, how many descendants of slaves are there because of our mentality and a psychological way of thinking about business, and is there still some stemming effects from slavery and oppression within business and local city communities?
Absolutely. I want you to get this revelation. He who controls the ownership dictate who gets jobs and who don't get them. There's an old saying, last hired, first fired. And so we never owned anything. You know what? I'm gonna put up another chart. You done got me fired up. Now I wasn't gonna do this. I was not gonna do this today, but let me see if I can, let me do this here. You know, I want everybody to see this here. Oh yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. Fasten your seatbelt.
How do we get more? How can my listeners get more, our viewers get more of your information? I know me personally, I invested in the Captain Millionaires program and the book. And
no, they got it. First thing we got to do. The first thing that we must say. The first thing.
The foundation.
Foundation.
Yes, sir. America's Black.
The foundation. All right, can you see that?
Foundation?
Hang on. Can you see that?
Yep. No, sir.
Hang on. Can you see that now?
Yes, sir.
There's been 3 economic systems. And I call them the waves, the 3 economic waves. The first wave was the agriculture age. And this symbol represents the plantation. What drove that economy?
Negroes.
Negative. Free labor.
Free labor, okay.
Slaves. See, we got to call it what it is.
Yeah.
We can't, see, we've been called slaves, colored, Negro, Black, now African American. We've been upgrading the names, but not up in economics. But what drove this economy was slaves. Without the slaves, the free labor, it wouldn't have existed. They were saying at one time, if you had 2 slaves, that was like having a Visa and a MasterCard. You didn't have to work. But then we shifted from this system here to the industrial age. Now, many got kicked off the plantation and they moved from the southern states here to the northern states, you know, Illinois, Missouri, Detroit, because those were the states that had industries. You know, the steel, the automobile, the tire, but they moved up here to the north. And now we have shifted to the information age. This is a whole new different system. And I tell brothers and sisters, if you're not at the table when a new system is evolving, what is the likelihood of your interest being represented?
Exactly.
And so we're in a new system. You see the old system, can you see that?
Yes, sir.
In our society, the power has been at the top and the powerless and the complacency has been on the bottom. The poverty has been on the bottom. The wealth has been at the top. The ignorance has been on the bottom and the knowledge has been at the top that keeps them empowered. The dependency has been on the bottom. And the opposite of dependency is interdependency. And this is where most of us have been. We've had jobs. I've coined what job stands for. Would you like to know?
Yeah, please.
Just over bottom. Because if you lose your job, you go back to the bottom and depend on unemployment, Social Security, or welfare. And above jobs is this thing called ownership on the B side. And above ownership is where the wealth is only created through ownership of land, labor, and capital. But this was an industrial age system. This is where our people have been. We've been the market. We've been at the church. We've been the consumers. And everybody been coming to the church to milk them. Asians, other. And this is Dr. G saying, wake up. I'm going to change this from black and put black. I'm sorry. You know I'm talking. Wake up. Yeah. So that was the industrial age system, my brother. And so we had to deal with white supremacy, slavery, white supremacy, colonialism, and all it has been producing in our community has been poverty, violence, crime, self-destructive behavior, ethnic conflict, drug, disunity, family war, disrespecting one another, divide and conquer, disempowerment, defamation of character. Neo-colonialism has created a lot of chaos, and it all because we have a foreign identity. We don't know who we is. Pardon my best Ebonics. And so all of our movements have been revolution, integration, separation, migration. Revolution, integration, separation. These have been our movement, and you've never been able to get out of the rat race. You cannot get out of the rat race with the current thinking that you have. Now, I wasn't going to go here, but it brings me back to the ESBI. We have to cross over, because I'm going to tell you what, corporate America is downsizing, and we were last time first fired. Folks coming to the bottom. It has a rippling effect on the family. Divorce rate will go up. You lose your jobs. Let me tell you something about brothers who are married. And this is so important. No money, no honey.
Yep.
Hey, the divorce rate go up. Now you got the single parent family trying to find a job in this new system called the information age.
Oh, boy.
We're in a new system. Who's at home watching Joey? Joey watching TV, getting an education, getting the old man gun, going down to the schoolhouse and shooting folks, or joining the gang. You my new dog. And the gangs are into drug, violent, criminal activity. Either he wind up dead or get caught by the police. They put him in the take him to the courthouse. They're there to put him in a new prison. You know, this was the fastest growing institution in America at one point, because these fools were making money off of them. Corporate America said, build more of them. And nobody's at home watching the daughter. She wants to be loved, so she drops her panties and get pregnant. Say, I'm going to have a baby because she wants. This is going to get on welfare, but Congress see that one coming and pass the Fair World Welfare Bill, or she aborts the baby. None of these are causes. These are only symptoms. And the reason why it's like that is because the question is, why is corporate America sending a job to the third world nation? Cheaper labor. Economic is touching all of these. And so we have to address that. We're shifting from an industrial-based society to the information age. How wealth was created in this system is totally different in the new one. And so we're in the midst of a major power shift right now. Anyway, I'm gonna stop here.
Yeah, let's
talk about this piece here, because I want to get back on course.
Yeah.
Because I sleep, eat, and breathe this thing here for our people. But we first got to address the foundation. And the only way we're going to address it is with this book.
Get the book, people. Get the book.
Did that help you?
It did.
Did that help you in? Because then you can see it from a different paradigm. We're in a new system. And if you're not at the table when a new system is evolving, what is the likelihood of your interest being represented?
Exactly.
It ain't going to happen. And so, or if it happens, it'll be just by purely coincidental that they want to use you as being still another consumer. But they really don't even need us anymore to be the consumers, because they've got immigrants that have now come in. They're trying to breakneck to get into the United States. And here it is. We're non-immigrants because we were brought here by force, not by choice, but by force. We're non-immigrants. We're America's firstborn. If your listening audience can get one thing from Captain Dr. G, Prime Minister, you have firstborn right in front of everybody. Anyway, you're about to get me fired up. However, let me share this with you.
Yeah.
What I've done to begin to fix the foundation, I copyrighted the name slave.
Yes, sir.
I copyrighted the name slave. Because see, when you are empowered, you now have the power to define. You can flip the script on the narrative. And so what I want to do, and leave this with the audience in closing, because I want them to know they are America's firstborn. They got firstborn rights. We don't want to run from the name slave. That name is very valuable. So here is redefining our narrative. It's been said that the last shall be first and the first shall be last. God said it, not me.
Sir.
He said the last shall be first. And the last culture that has been introduced to his human family is the American slave. With that thought in mind, we, the descendants of American slave, have awakened. We must be the change that we desire to see. The worldwide slave culture has witnessed a 1,000-year-old institution where robbing, stealing, killing, enslaving humanity was for the benefit of the members of the elite class. We witnessed what royalty was in their eyesight. What we have been left with has been the institution of debt, poverty, second-class citizenship, and more. That has been the institution purposely designed for the American slave culture. It is time to flip the script. We are redefining our narrative. The descendants of American slave have eloquently redefined the word slave. We put a new spin on it. The New American Slave Redefined. The letter S means we are spirits, we have souls, we are saved, we are servants, we are skillful, we're selfless, we have strength, we're superior, we're special, we're spontaneous, we're sanctified, we're set apart. We are the sons and daughters of the Most High God. The letter L means we are leaders, we're learners, we're lovers. Love is about giving. God so loved the world that he gave. That's why I'm giving to y'all today, because I want y'all to get this information.
Sir.
The letter A means we are Americans. We're awesome. We're anointed. We're appointed. We're achievers. We're admired. The letter V means we're vibrant. We're vivacious. We're victorious. We are in it to win it. That's why I want y'all to cross on over to the I side so we can get on down the road here. The letter E means we excel. We're excited. We're excellent. We are empowered. We're empowered to prosper. We're full of wisdom, knowledge, and understanding and power. We're extraordinary. We're extroverts. We're enablers. We're action-oriented. We're doers. The descendants of American slave culture has been branded with these qualities. It's been our thinking, speaking, and acting that truly makes a difference. Yes, the American slave culture is the last purposely bred culture of humanity. The culture was created specifically to build America. It is the foundation of America. That's why we got to fix the foundation. The only way we're going to do it is using America's Little Black Book. It's the greatest product that was ever created. It's still producing for America to this very day. Yes, the descendants of American slave culture is wealthy in so many ways. We own America, having firstborn culture rights. Slavery was a business. It was a legal culture name and term. America is ours for the taking.
Passion, passion, passion. I love it.
America is ours for the taking. We are America's firstborn, the descendants of American-bred slaves. It's time for all of us to wake up and see it from a different perspective. We, the descendants of American slave, our culture claims its rightful inheritance to America immediately.
Sure. And it's got to be done by fixing our foundation, like you said. Get the book, guys. Get the book.
Got to get the book.
And
I was going to tell you, once they have that information, it's life-changing, brother.
Sure. And the book promotes no hatred at all. This is all knowledge, and so it's universal. Anybody can get the book. You don't have to be black. Understand the nation.
Let me share this with you.
Sure.
In Los Angeles is a major evolution going on right now. The whole area they have classified it as a empowerment zone. So billions of dollars are coming to the community. They just had a community meeting here just last 5 days that I attended. And they made sure that they said, if you know people in the meeting, don't talk to them, reach out to those you don't know. Well, I didn't know nobody in the meeting. And I don't care, you get around me. The only thing that's going to talk about is economics, American slavery, empowerment, leadership training, because those are the gifts and skill sets that I have. Well, this white guy, he came up and started talking to me. I took him to 41,000 feet. I didn't play with him. I said, the issue in our community is we're still dealing with the after effect of American slavery. Billions of dollars are coming to this community, and you guys are coming to the church, this quote, quote, African-American black church. See how you're gonna get paid. Now, I said, let me share this with you. Slavery was a business, and it's gonna take a business to fix slavery. There's money to be made in this process where we all can become wealthy. I said, but here's how we have to do it. I said, this is America Little Black Book, and you have to read it because we have to heal the foundation. And you being a builder, you know you got to fix the foundation first before you can build the houses up on top of it.
Sir.
That man gave me $20. He didn't give me 17. He gave me $20. He said, keep the change. I talked with him in the last day or so. He said, oh my God, I've been looking at it wrong. I cannot put this book down. We have to do this here. I said, yeah, it's your responsibility because our white forefathers created the American slave culture. They have locked him into the lowest level. He said, I want to do whatever we have to do. We have to do this. Yeah. You can count me. Now he's a white man. He said, you have opened me up. I said, I know because my white brothers and sisters are living off of false narrative. They're locked into this white supremacy that the lies that their forefathers told them. and they cannot get out.
Yep.
And the only way that you can get out is by operating in truth.
Sir.
He says, when you know truth, it shall make you free. Knowing a lie and correct data keep you in bondage. So they're locked into a false narrative, and they need to be set free from that foolishness. Well, that man got set free. He said, man, I got to finish this book here. And you can count me in. Whatever I have to do, I want to be a part of it because I want to see change here in Los Angeles. We have to do this because our country is in trouble. And brother, I'm so honored that I met you. He gave me a big hug, just like we're doing by Zoom. I talked to him. And so I know that it's non-threatening, but it's empowering. You begin to move from that entitlement mentality. Now we're about empowerment. Because see, I know what has happened to you. You done read this book, you can't even put it down.
It's true.
And I warned you. I said, are you ready to cross over? Mm-hmm. You said, yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready. And we did what we did, and you started reading it. I know what's going to happen. It's already starting to happen. The movement is starting to accelerate because I'm starting to share with my friends on Facebook and the Messenger, just sharing with them the link, and they're going out to read. I mean, they just reading the first chapter, sending me, oh, gee, this is good. This is life changing.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We've been being destroyed for lack of knowledge. Ignorance has been our greatest enemy. Yes, I'm putting it out there.
I agree.
And let me tell you something. When you know yourself and you know the enemy, you are never, ever in danger of losing any battle. But if you only know yourself and know not the enemy, you stand a 50% chance of winning. But when you don't know thyself and you don't know the enemy, you have already lost.
Yep.
And we've been losing because we don't know thyself, and we certainly don't know who the enemy is. So I'm letting your people, your group know that it was ignorance that has been our greatest enemy. And the only way to overcome ignorance, you're going to have to be willing to learn, unlearn, and relearn.
Sir.
But you done got me fired up on your show.
Man, I appreciate it, Cap. Listen, guys, this is an elder that's not talking from out of left field. He's seen things, he knows things, and he's sharing. That's a spiritual walk there. And so listen with an open mind. I pray that everybody takes advantage of what Cap has shared here. Do your own research. We'll sit back and wait. I'll be in contact with Cap. And so if you
it's no more waiting. We got to move now because things are getting so bad in our country.
Yeah.
With the immigrants coming in here. Yeah. See, everybody's getting on top of the American Slave Foundation, and it's buckling right now. It's been buckling, and it's going to collapse. But this is the mortar. This is the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. This is the mortar that can heal us because we are the crack in the foundation. We are the descendants of American slaves. And I have come back to pick y'all up, those that's ready to cross over and go to another level.
Sure. So I'll share the link, guys. Is there anything else you want to share? I know you got a couple ventures you're working on, and just in case
one of the things that I want to tell the group, they have to fix their foundation. And I'm going to share this with you. Y'all, we have everything that we need to move forward.
Really do.
We have our captain. I have the Captain's Millionaire Training Program that I've set up for those, but you got to come through the DAS training, the Descendants of American Slave Training. But I've set up the TSA. Before you get on board the jet, everybody got to come through TSA. And so I've set up a TSA training inside online. So those that want to come through this process where they'll begin to think differently, speak differently, they'll act differently. They'll have the captain mindset. They'll be principle, purpose, process, precision, people, priority, prosperity, philosophy driven. They'll have they won't be able to play you. You'll become the captain of your life. But also, too, you'll have the mindset of a millionaire. Where can you go learn how to become a millionaire?
Not very many places.
So got tools and processes in place that'll catapult you to millionaire status. But you got to come through the DAS training first. There's no way around it. Because we have been being destroyed for lack of knowledge. So we got to make knowledge our number one concern. And we're now in the information age. Knowledge is now the primary source of capital. It's more important than money. And so I can show you guys how we take $1 and create 60 with it. That's not the issue. What I'm concerned about is you being made whole here first.
Sure.
Us being healthy here. Because see, God has created you. You are special in his eyesight. And so it's time to lift our culture up from the bottom. He said the last shall be first and the first shall be last. And all I'm willing to do I'm doing his work. That's what spirituality is all about. I'm not into religion. Religion is man looking for God. I done found him. Actually, he never was lost.
Right,
It was me that stepped up and said, hey, I'm ready for change 54 years ago at part of the Watts riot. That was the catalyst that got me to start thinking differently. And we're out of time doing the wrong thing. We have everything in place, but you have to come through the training. There's no other way around it.
Yes, sir.
Make an investment in you.
Exactly. And that's one thing I wanted to talk about, because personally, I took a award. I mean, I've had three different jobs. I was a coach and part-time, and I'd have money here, nothing saved in the bank, but I tug a award with taking, 36, 16 and so forth there. But I mean, that's an investment for me. That's how I improve who I am. That's how I work towards putting more money in my bank account, making my money work for me. So enough with the excuses, people. You really don't have any. You can come up with $100 a year to invest in yourself for things other than objects and so forth. And so
let me share this with you about excuses.
Yeah.
Excuses are the crutches for the uncommitted.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to hear no excuse, because we have no excuse. There's none.
I agree.
Especially if you're ready to go to the wealthy place.
Yep.
So your life will change forever. And I love y'all. I love you, brother, for who you are. And you jumped on board. And I want to encourage everybody to join the Descendants of American Slave Facebook page.
Yes.
You have to, because there's a lot of information that we put out there. And maybe you can put that link also in the bottom of your notes.
I sure will.
I mean, in your, so that everybody go out there, so we can get on one accord, because we will create the movement. Yep. God says where two or three gathered in his name, he said he's in the middle. And whatever that we touch and agree upon, it shall come to pass. Yep. We have no excuse. We have everything to catapult us to where we need to be.
Yes, sir.
I want to say thank you for taking time out, Brother, for I am so honored that you would allow me to come on your show today and to be able to share with your listening audience, because it ain't about me. It's all about you. And this is your captain's.
Get the merch. Get the merch.
Hey, yeah. Oh, yeah, we got a lot of stuff for our people. We're going to have fun. I'm so excited, and I'm so glad to have met you, brother.
Likewise.
Because you know what? The problems are serious in life, but we're going to have a fun time fixing them.
Yeah.
Hey, I got to go. This is your captain speaking, and we'll be in touch soon, my brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. Peace and blessings.
Likewise.